you know. Okay, so we're back in our rather chilly church hall, and we've decided not to lie down this morning because it's a bit too cold. In fact, I would say the floor is probably like frozen ice, don't you think? Yeah. So trying to keep off the floor as much as possible. So if you've got a warm room at home, think yourselves lucky. And we've decided we're doing yoga this morning for grumpiness. How to alleviate grumpiness. And there are lots of yoga poses that soothe, quieten, and uplift. Sounds like a bra commercial. Right, so let's do rotations. And the other way. So like running or anything else, very good idea not to go straight into strong poses without some warm up, at least of the joints and major muscles, because they're going to be stiff, especially in the morning. In the evening, not so bad. So think of it just as movement throughout the body, you know, back stroke, forward. And push, hands up. Lovely. Strong, 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 up on the toes. And tiptoeing backwards and forwards. Exercise that foot. Oh, it's nice when I get to my blanket, it's much warmer over here. Okay. And then down and do the rotations into the shoulder joints. And even though it looks silly, do some jaw work. Left, right, up, down. Okay. Lovely, release, swing. And then just roll back, roll forward. So remember, these warm-ups can be done, you know, several times through the day. Rotating the wrists, rotating the ankle joint, balance at the same time. So I reckoned yoga for grumpiness, to alleviate grumpiness, probably going to be one of my most popular yoga videos on YouTube. Let's start with going into the mountain, steadying out. So I would recommend, actually, if you're going to stand and you're just on your mat on the squeezing whole floor, why not stand on that? Okay. Have you got something like a blanket?
Well, it's not.
Is that really insulated?
Yeah, it's really thick and spongy.
Is that better? More? So just standing in the mountain, steadying out. And the thing with the mountain is you can just sort of get into it and stand in it, like so. But actually it needs fine tuning. So the ankle joint underneath the hip joint, shoulder blades slightly coming together but down. Crown of the head lifting so the back of the neck is long. Usually means slightly tilting the chin down. And then, I don't know about you, but there's always a feeling that I'm holding my arms on. Just let them go. They won't drop off. Letting go. Closing the eyes a moment. If you know how to do any of the bandhas, the locks, you could do the Mula Bandha, where you do a sort of pelvic floor lift internally. For women, it's if you were peeing and you wanted to stop peeing mid-flow, it's those muscles, slight lift. And then there's the abdominal pull, slightly pulling in, not severe, just enough to support the front belly. Okay, so that with those two locks, or in Sanskrit, bandhas in place, just pause a moment. So as we stand here, noticing what the mind is doing. So with grumpiness, it sometimes feels, or irritability, it sometimes feels that energy has come into the system and is just whirring around. And it can be low level or it could be high level. And because yoga is about the emotions, we can actually change that through the poses. But when you're first aware of it, if you can, no judgment, just noticing that in the dialect around here, we call it your mithering. So just notice that the mind is mithering. And be as kind and tender to yourself as possible. And I like to tell my students that feeling grumpy is a natural reaction to things that are happening. You may not know what some of them are, but it's not just appeared for no reason. And it's a bit like you feeling cold if you've left your sweater at home. And you don't tell yourself off for that. So it's noticing that your mind, your emotions and your body respond, usually appropriately, to what's going on around you. So moving to the emotional level, just seeing how the body feels. Sorry, seeing how the emotions feel. And if you are feeling irritable, grumpy, tenderly observing and acknowledging that. And then moving to the physical body and noticing where that irritability or grumpiness is manifesting in the body. So for me, it's usually my right shoulder comes up, and I tense up around my cheekbones here, and my mouth tends to tense as well. So just being aware of my little telltale signs and checking where else. So it might be in the arms, hands, belly, and again, being aware, kindly, gently. Okay, and then being aware of the body being breathed. And how many times do we stop in a day and think, ah, yes, the in-breath, the pause, the out-breath. And when the mind wanders off, which is what the mind does, just coming back to noticing the breathing in the body. Maybe you notice it in the belly or in the chest. And you're probably already noticing that this is calming in itself. Standing steady in the mountain, Tadasana. Allowing the body to be breathed. Lovely. Okay, and then being aware of the breath, the body, the emotions and the mind. This room, space that we're in. Noticing if already there's any change within the emotional level. Okay. And then let's start for some movement. So from the compassion point of view, when we're working with irritability or grumpiness, there might be times where standing still is agony, where there's so much agitation going on that standing still is just going to drive you slightly round the bend. So that's when I'd say go out for a brisk walk, or do 20 sun salutations, or do some press ups, or go and chop wood, or get that energy flowing through the system, but not feeling that you're contained with it. So that's a good thing to note. In yoga, if it's a manageable level of energy churning through the system, we start to move it. So we're going to do some of the Pawan Muktasanas, the energy shift work. So if you could come down to seated for a moment and put the legs straight out. Right. Pawan Muktasana, one of them is what I call stirring the pot. So we're just actually moving in Tai Chi. That would be the third dantian. We're moving energy through the abdominal area, the digestive system. So just churning the pot. So one of my students has just arrived, Angela. So let me just catch you up. We're working on yoga for grumpiness and irritability. Yes, we thought that was a good idea. Okay, and then of course, because you've been going one way, probably clockwise first, which is the natural way to go first time. Now we do anti-clockwise. So we're doing these Pawan Muktasanas, which I think you know from these before. Round. And of course, irritability, grumpiness, affect your digestive system. And this is working on clearing energy. So if you start getting blocked in your digestive system, that can exacerbate even more grumpiness. We don't want that. Okay, and then lift up. Okay, and lift, lift, lift. So we're going from left to right, expanding the sides up to the rib cage. And you can feel that stretch. And then slightly backwards, so you can expand the front at the same time as the sides. That's it, lovely. And then down, and I want you to go over gently, because it's beginning of the class, not too far. Breathe in, up, reach, and over. Lovely. Okay, and up. So technically, yes, we need to move the energy, but we also need to soothe the system. So this session is about balancing a fine line between those two. Move energy through to clear, whilst at the same time soothe the system. And up. Okay, lovely. Bring the feet together and get hold of your foot and massage through the sole of the foot if you can. So if you want to, you can do this sitting on a chair and move around the toes, pushing onto the reflexology points through each tip of the toe into the ball of the foot. Don't push on the instep area, it's very sensitive, and onto the heel. And you can also use your fists so that you're rubbing quite strongly. But again, do be careful of this instep area. Okay. If you're not sure what to do, I would imagine you're trying to get more blood flow into the foot, so you can feel the pressure, and you'll feel as you do that that it's warming up a bit. You might even feel some sensitive areas, so just gently explore those. Okay. But in reflexology, mainly working on the sole of the foot, but if you want to give the whole foot some tender warm massage, go for it. So as we do this, let's engage the mind and heart with this process. So we're actually lovingly, caringly giving ourselves some kind attention. Because often grumpiness and irritability is about not really feeling loved and cared for, or things are getting overwhelming, or life is getting a bit difficult. And when life is difficult, more kindness to ourselves helps enormously. So, thinking things like, if it was me doing it to myself, I'm going, come on, Sarah, there you go. How does that feel? Is that nice? Oh, let's give that foot a nice rub. There, good. You know, at home you could put some nice moisturising cream on, and the whole of the palm of the hand and rub around the foot, and that will just increase your, isn't it oxytocin? Yeah, oxytocin, which is a feel-good chemical within the system. It's very good if you're feeling grumpy. You need more oxytocin. And then we do the other foot. And you might feel that foot smiling a little now. You know, a little bit happier. You give them a little bit of love and attention. So we'll now do the other foot. And I always think that our feet work so hard for us, and actually most of the time we don't give them enough loving attention, do we? Or is it just me? Sometimes when I'm leading week-long retreats, I bring a set of different colour, usually my daughter's different coloured nail polishes, and one of our sessions we colour our nails in different colours, our toenails in different colours, and pamper the feet as a meditation. One of my favourites. And then we laugh all week at our different coloured toenails. Okay, so nice, loving, caring, full palm onto the foot, oxytocin, and then when you've done, feel you've begun to get that foot to smile from the inside. Happy feet. You can place the feet back, and then let's do the same full palm touch along the legs. And we're going to go into a forward bend because it's a soothing pose. So remember the contraindications for forward bends. If you have lower back problems, don't go down so low. Severe lower back problems, don't go down. Don't bend the back forward because you're probably bulging with your discs at the back already as it is. Okay, so let's go up. And we can have the feet touching if you want, toes coming towards you. And the trick with this forward bend is, I've already noticed what I'm doing wrong myself. Anybody guess what it is? So the whole seat is in the wrong place. So I'm going to pull back my sitting muscles. Okay, the gluteus muscles pull back. Then it's really hard to get this rib cage high up. And if you go forward with the rib cage down, you're going to seriously compromise those internal organs. So let's really stretch. And then up and over and forward. Now remember, you don't have to touch your feet. You can touch knees, shins. You're going down comfortably. But the main thing to remember is it's not the head touching the feet. It's the crown of the head going away from you. So you're lengthening the spine. And your rib cage, you imagine the lowest part of your rib cage, if you can, going past your knees. And then we drop the head. So chin to chest. And you'll probably feel the kidney area at the back opening up, which is good. If you want to, while you're there, very reassuring and soothing is to rub with the palms onto the kidneys as you're doing the steep forward bend. And as soon as you start doing that, you're probably going to feel the warmth, the care, the kindness, the lift, the oxytocin starts to come through the body. Nice, nice. And there are good reasons why when someone is struggling or grumpy, we tend to rub them on their back, almost sympathizing with them, a bit of a back rub. Okay, and then when you leave the kidneys, don't take the hands off the body, just slide them down the hips, all the way down the legs, to where you feel comfortable, wherever you want to settle on the legs. Okay. And then see if you can extend and lengthen the spine a little bit more without being unkind to yourself. Dropping the chin more deeply into the chest. So all forward bends are soothing.
calming and quietening. So they're good ones to do if you can't sleep, like 2 a.m. in the morning, you can't sleep. Any of the forward bends will be soothing. The back bends are energizing. So sometimes we do a little bit more forward bend and a little bit less of their counter poses, the back bend. So see if you can feel the hamstrings stretching a little. And see if you can open out the shoulder blade and bring the shoulders a little bit closer to the floor. But again, underachieve. Pull back even 30%. Because what we don't want the body to do is to go tight and start to struggle. We just want it to feel fairly relaxed. And then we're in the pose and we let the pose work on us. Really relaxing the head. I think because I'm teaching, I keep bringing my head up. Just really tuck the chin in. Okay. And then breathing in, coming up.
Now, you know, at home, if you're watching the video, you could always stay down there longer, just pause, because that's such a soothing pose. We don't want to energize the body too much, but we do want to do slight counter pose. So I'm just leaning back a little and opening up the thyroid, parathyroid, and throat. Letting the head rest comfortably on the back. And pausing and breathing. So to make this soothing, you can imagine that you're lying on a beach. Magical beach. All the things you might not like about beaches. This beach is magical. It's got all the things you like about beaches. Perfect sand, perfect temperature, perfect shade. And let's pretend we've got days and days on holiday. Nothing to do except have a lovely time. Okay, good. And then bring the head back up, chin to chest. Pause. And then walk the feet forward. And slowly, because you might feel a bit dizzy if you do it suddenly, we need to come up unusually to standing, because the work I've just done in that forward bend, I want to then start to Uttasana, some of that energy that's releasing now, really release it. So some of you don't know this pose, but it's chopping wood pose. So you put the hands, and normally I put the middle finger and the index finger together, and the other fingers clasped. The thumbs are crossing, but that's up to you. You can have them straight or crossing. And the hands go up. And then look at the feet. So one foot is at pointing to 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock is at the front. The other foot is pointing to 2 o'clock. And my knees have to go over the second toe when they go down. And this is what it looks like. Don't do it with me yet, just watch one. And then up. So think of the knees, we don't want them compromised. And think of that action. So it's breathe in, extend, breathe out. Lovely. And again, breathe in, extend, breathe out. Lovely. And keep going. So breathe in through the nose as you come up. Breathe out through the mouth. You start to get lightheaded, there'll be some pause, stop. And then let's finish downwards and do a very gentle forward bend. And you can start to bring the toes facing the front, heel toe, bring them together. Release, rub the backs of the legs. Okay, hold the elbows and drop. Soft, generously soft with the knees, kind to the knees, releasing down. Slightly swing the arms from side to side. You feel your shoulder blades
the muscles, tendons around them, just stretching a little. And then eventually just drop the hands down comfortably. So I've got quite bent knees, shave a bit side on, not trying to overstretch the hamstrings. So that was quite vigorous, but we needed it to be vigorous. So next we're going to go into Utkatasana, the very fierce pose, because I'm determined to shift the energy. So it's almost as though you're sitting on an imaginary stool now. Come back onto an imaginary stool, and then coming up a bit more. Bend the knees comfortably over the second toe. Okay, and technically, tailbone is just above the back of the heels. So it's more of a sitting down and then looking up. Lovely. Try not to lean back, that's a good idea. Look up through the hands to the heavens. Extend the hands out of the shoulder joints if you can. Lovely. Okay, breathing in, push, come up. And breathing out, coming down. Let's breathe in, take the energy up from this third dantian up through the chakras to above the throat chakra, and then breathe out and down. And again, breathe in. And breathe out and down. Breathe in. Breathe out and down. So you can see where we're going. I'm moving energy, I'm soothing. I'm moving energy, I'm soothing. So technically you could do the sun salute, Surya Namaskar at this point. How do you feel here today? Surya Namaskar, could try a pair. Does everybody know the sun salute? Yes, technically. Okay, you might need to take your socks off, even though, heaven forbid, I'm going to get cold feet. Socks off, blankets away. Okay, so standing at the front of your mat, visualizing the sun rising on the horizon. So strangely, this is good at 2 a.m. in the morning when you can't sleep. Why? Because it will exhaust the body. So again, fine line between exhausting the body and overexciting the body. But we've tried it, and yes, it does work. So you lie down in bed and you just go, it helps you drop into sleep. So breathing in, the arms go up. Visualize the sun rising, eastern horizon, breathing out down to the heart. Okay. Breathe in, hands up, palms facing forward, arch back, looking up to the heavens. Breathing out, bend the knees slightly as we come down, tuck the chin in, soothing forward bend. Then let's take the left foot back and go into that running starter position. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take both feet back, downward facing dog. Breathe in to plank. And breathe out, down. Tuck the elbows in. Tops of the feet on the floor, elbows tucked in, forehead on the floor. Breathing in, nose and chin along the mat, up we come into the cobra. Keeping the pelvis on the floor, tuck the toes under. Breathe out, back. Downward facing dog. Do that left foot. We want to jump it between the hands. If that feels too hard, put down the right knee and bring it forward. So we're back into starter position. Tuck the toes under at the back. Bring them forward. There we go. Forward bend again. Bend the knees. Bend the knees strongly. So you're in squat position and the thighs bring you up.
back arch again and down. Lovely. So that was with the left foot going back. This time let's do the right foot going back. So breathing in, opening up. Feel that lovely open stretch. Breathing out, coming down, bend the knees. Breathe in, right foot goes back, looking up. Lovely. Breathe out, straight feet back, downward facing dog. On the in-breath, plank. On the out-breath, down, tuck the elbows in, touch the feet on the floor. On the in-breath, coming up, leaving the pelvis on the floor. The toes under. Into downward facing dog again. And then breathe in, jump that right foot forward, or put the left knee down and work the right foot forward, looking up. And then both feet together. Don't worry about that jump, you just find various ways, and I'll show you in a minute how to do that. Arching back, then straightening, and breathing out. Okay, so pause a moment, I just want to show that jump. There. You've got a foot that needs to come forward. Even the thought of bringing it forward, I can't do that. The only reason I can do it is I know I've done it before. So somehow I let the body work it out. So people have told me that you can come sideways on and in. And if you do that in a smooth enough action, that works. And other people say, I'm not having any sudden jarring movements, thank you. And they put the left knee on the ground and they raise with their hands back. Okay, so there are lots of nice ways around it. And we're going to do the whole thing again, but I'm not going to say very much. So we're going to try and get one pair done meditatively. Is that okay? If you're not sure, watch me. Left, back. Breathe out. It's under. Left foot to the front. Both feet. And the knees. And the knees more deeply. And then when we do the right foot back this time, we're doing it in silence, okay? Those guys for a moment, just settling. So, as you settle there, think about, look how we slowed the breathing right down. So we worked with the body, but the breathing was long, slow, deep breathing. And that helps to calm the system down as well. And also because it's a kind of vigorous, some slow can be really quite strong in the body. We were attentive, we were here in the moment. We weren't thinking about whatever it is that was making us particularly grumpy or irritable. And if we were thinking about it a little, be kind to ourselves. Okay. And now we just stand in the mountain and let the body just settle, left, right, front, back. And then I'd like to do some twists. So twists, energy-wise, a lot of movement around here. So in Tai Chi, there's a lot of the emotional content goes into this area. We probably feel it. You can get, really upset tummies when you're feeling angry, upset, grief, whatever. It's all going on there. Twists help to change that. You can choose to do them seated, kneeling, seated on a chair. It's up to you. So I'll put that chair there just to remind you, you can use that chair. So if you're doing a twist on a chair, like so, and if you're doing it kneeling, like so. So choose and seated, you can do it, or cross-legged, right? So I'm going to be in kneeling, just because that's comfortable for me. If you want, you can put a blanket underneath the ankles, so they don't hurt so much. You can sit on a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, very large cushion. Most important thing is you're comfortable, you're being kind to you. You get extra brownie points. So, twist. First of all, lift from the crown of the head. Crown of the head, just grown 2 inches. Then take the left hand over to the opposite leg, outside of the opposite leg. Take the right hand round the back. So because I'm kneeling, I'm going to actually touch the that. So turning. Okay, and then looking strongly round behind you. Just going to turn my phone off completely. My bad. Okay, and then as I watch you and as I see people here, some of you are leaning back a little and some of you are leaning forward a little, some of you are tilted to the right and left. Remember, we're trying to keep the spine perfectly perpendicular, coming up straight like a lamppost, straight up from the ground, whilst we turn the body around it. Lovely, and then breathing out, coming back to the front, lengthen up, shoulders back. Okay. And then, if you're cross-legged, other leg on the outside, and then take one hand to the outer side, the opposite hand this time from last time, other hand, other one round the back, drop the shoulders. That's what I think I was doing a little bit wrong last time. For women, you've got, you might have noticed, there's a kind of jam against the chest. So I'm going to take the hand underneath. Yes, that helps. Okay, and then breathing in, lengthen, and breathing out, turning to the left. Again, check the spine all the way into those 7 vertebrae. Turning, 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 looking over, not only looking over that left shoulder, but looking into your peripheral vision, right around the corner. Bless you. Bless you can cough as well, since it seems unfair to bless somebody when they sneeze and not when they cough. Okay, can you see if you could lengthen up a little while through the close? And then breathing out round to the front. Okay, then open out. And let's do some calming for us. So breathe in, go up. So again, this could be done on a chair. Breathing out down to the heart. Breathing in, open. Let's imagine the whole world just thinks we're fabulous. And let's receive that. We're fabulous. We are pretty fabulous. Breathing out. Send that energy of appreciation and gratitude out, and then breathe in. Receive it all again, right from the cells of your being. Okay. Breathing in, going up. And closing and breathing out, down. So now we know what we're doing. Let's do it even more. So breathing in, receiving. Wonderful. We're fabulous. Each human being, absolutely fabulous, totally unique, more unique than the Kohinoor diamonds. And breathing out, sending the gratitude. And breathing in, opening up. Right across the heart. And up we go. And breathing out and down. So this time, breathing in, receiving. And if the world around you isn't acknowledging your fabulousness, at least we're acknowledging our fabulousness. And breathing out, sending our fabulousness into the world. And then breathing in, opening the heart. So somewhere there's somebody who's kind on this planet. We're just receiving their kindness. If you're in a really bad mood, we're receiving that one person's kindness who's the kind person. Breathing in and up. And folding it and breathing out and down. And so this last time, I want you to create whatever you will find helpful, making yourself feel loved and cherished. So breathe in, visualize or think whatever's helpful to you. Breathe out. Breathing in. And out. Turn the palms upwards. Breathing in. And breathe out. And pause with the thumbs just touching the chest. So obviously, if you're practicing at home, you can repeat that as many times as you need to. And if you find, I've already found I'm sitting too much kneeling, you can change the leg position. Sit on the chair and straight out in front of you. Okay, and then opening and looking at the palms for a moment. So because my legs are given up, I'm just changing position into simple cross leg Sukhasana. So see those palms in front of you. Those are the hands of you, your hands. There are no other hands on this planet with the same fingertip markings. The palm of your hands are also pretty unique. Some people have long, thin fingers, and some people have short, chubby fingers. Mine are sort of medium, tending towards the short. And they're uniquely yours. These are the hands that can caress. So bringing those hands up and just touching the sides of the cheeks. And what we found by doing the research, MRI scanning the brain, is when you caress your own face, the part of the brain that captures the signals of caressing responds to this as well as it does to somebody else going, my love, my sweet, my honey. So the trick is to caress your own face. And then oxytocin will start to be activated, feel good, and a love hormone. And you can add in your own mind whatever sweet nothings you wish to say. And it's lovely that this isn't just kind of funky talk. This is actually scientifically recognized. So isn't that nice? So when you're feeling grumpy and irritable, just kindly caressing your own face. And then the other action that they found really helps, there are the three major ones that I use, is dominant hand on the heart, and right-handed, left hand on top, and then slight pressure at the same time as feeling I am a valuable human being, and each of us are in ourselves. The very fact we exist is a miracle, and we are incredibly unique with all our foibles and quirks and gifts and grumpinesses. Okay, and actually one of my students is just gently rocking, and actually I was just going to suggest that gentle rock from side to side, reassuring. And if the heart's feeling raw, too open, circular action, as we do with a baby, circular. I'm going clockwise on the heart area. Try it, it's wonderfully soothing. And if you're still feeling a little bit too wide open or raw, you can place one hand on the belly while the other hand soothes, circular on the heart. And then it gets to the point where you really don't want to take the hand away. And that shows that we're actually connected in, that we're soothing the part that is all scratchy or raw. Okay, and then if you have glasses on, do take them off. Rubbing the hands together until there's a lot of heat. So creating this friction. Not so much that flames start to erupt on the palms of your hand, but when they're nice and hot, we simply place the eyes into the palms of the hand, into that warmth, and we let the head drop. So this is as long as we've been evolving as humans, this is an action we do when things are getting too much. We put our head in our hand, and here we've warmed up the palms, soothing across the eyes. The fingers are holding the forehead, the thumbs are on the outsides of the temples, and we let the head just drop into those reassuring, holding, soothing hands. And just let that action spread throughout not only the whole body, but the whole system, the emotional level, the mind, impacting on the nervous system, soothing, calming, quietening. And then take the hands and simply, still with that warmth, that full caress from the line where the normal hairline or the top of the head, round and down face. So opening the face upwards as though the sun was shining down, or the stars, the moon, shining down upon us. We've got skin contact, skin contact. And the eyes are closed. Nobody's looking at you. Lovely. Okay. And then I'd suggest if you have your socks off, put your socks back on. As your poor body's feeling, well, you might be being very kind to me, but you're letting my feet cold. And if you have a sweater or a top, for any sort, maybe get that ready, you might need it as we do more of the soothing work. So yeah, I'm going to put my sweater on, I think. Oh, there's probably one day somebody going to be doing this somewhere in some hot country on the video, thinking, why are they speaking on? It's England, it's November. Little church hall, right? Knees to chest.
Okay, so bringing the knees up as close as you can, pushing in, and just rocking a little from side to side. If you need a cushion for your head, or you need more warmth and support underneath you, this is your chance to be kind. Provide what you need and rock from side to side. So it's not just the work on the spine here and the back. This is quite soothing. And then hands to knees and do the big circles. Again, moving energy through the system. And one of the things that really helps grumpiness and irritability, and you've probably noticed it in life, is if you've had a partner or somebody who knows you well, they probably know that to make you laugh is one way to shift the mood. So humour and laughter really does nudge grumpiness, mithering and irritability into getting a little bit less. So I thought we could do the happy baby pose, where if you take the hands up to the heavens and the feet up into the heavens, and then bend the knees a little bit more, okay, and then move around, okay, like a happy baby lying on their back. Just kind of wave the hands and feet a little, bring the chin in a little towards the chest and the back of the neck nice and long, waving happy baby. And then you can watch me, I'm taking my right leg over to the left. Then I bring it back up and I take the left leg over to the left. And then I just play around like a baby might, playing around, moving. And if you feel up to it, you could take the right toe up to almost shoulder level on that side, depending on what you feel up to. The hands are just playing around, just doing what they like here. Okay, then after you've done that a while, we'll go into stuffed turkey, holding on to the instep and bringing the knees down to the armpits. Okay, and then again we go into the happy baby rolling, but this time we're holding our feet from side to side. Okay, and then I want you to do the bicycling. Big exaggerated bicycling. And backwards bicycling. Forward bicycling again. And then pistons, so the heels keeping just an inch or so off the floor. Okay, good. And then bring the heels close up to the torso. Close the eyes, chin towards the chest. When lying down, cobbler pose. And then just rock from one side to the other. Lovely, and then butterfly. Butterfly the legs, so they're just working into the hip joint. Now, if your belly, if you're feeling a little bit turned up, your belly feels too exposed, it's absolutely fine to put both hands on the belly, sort of protecting the belly as you do this work, reassuring it. But don't tense the shoulders up if you can help it. Good, and then knees up to the chest, again, pull in tight. Roll over onto one side. And moving into the same pose, but the other way around. So the child pose, balasana with the hands, palms upwards at the ankles,
nice long belly. Again, we have to protect those internal organs. So rib cage, lifting up and over the knees, and then coming down, forehead to the floor, and that cushions. Relaxing his face. One of the most ultra soothing. If you want to give room for your belly, you can take the knees out to the sides. So coming down, breathing. So this pose is often used for safety, feeling of safety, calming, soothing. Okay, and then stretch out, because we may as well, while we're here, do the long swan, stretching out the spine. Increasing the length from the tailbone, all the way up, stretching the fingers away from us. Relaxing the shoulders eventually. And letting the emotional work of the pose, of the asana, just begin to be absorbed by the body. So it's almost like you get out of the way, you let it happen. And then pulling back, putting the hands back, pushing the hands to come up. And a little secret weapon of yoga teachers is that when the class, which we'd never dream of doing, but when the class becomes unruly, or I have a student in one of my classes who's notorious for telling me jokes, making me laugh too much. And I really have to calm the class down quite quickly to move on to the next pose. What we do is if you're doing a pose that requires enormous concentration, the mind has to be in that moment now. So everybody suddenly quietens down and starts doing what they're meant to be doing. But it's also good if the mind is minded, because we go into a pose which requires everything to be in that pose. And it brings the energy to here and now. So shall we do one of those? And it is a tricky one. It's Garudasana, eagle pose. So coming up to standing. So use this is your secret weapon too, your secret tool, when things are getting too much and too difficult, and you want to come into the present moment now and create the equilibrium now. Choose a difficult, especially a difficult standing balance pose. They're the best. So Garudasana is, see if we get it right, is you have the toes slightly, if that's 12 o'clock, toes slightly pointing out that way, and you're going to take the legs round. So imagine you're sitting on a chair. If you're not confident, you can sit on a chair, take the legs round, that's the pose. Okay. And the hands go out because we need the balance. And then see that knee down there, that's my right knee. Take your right hand up and bring your left hand underneath and round. Okay. So it usually produces giggles, which is good, laughter's good. Okay, and I'm cheating slightly, my leg's not totally tucked around today. And then when you think, oh, that's easy, I've got sort of somewhere there, you'll start to topple. And it requires even more concentration to stay in the pose. So we're all doing adapted, we're doing different adapted versions of this, including my adapted leg position. Some people are just holding the hands. Okay. And then if you feel like really confident, we try to take the elbows to that knee. I'm not entirely sure today I can do. Provides enormous ankle strength. No, that's about as far as I can go today. And then opening up, back into and out and down. So a heating pose, did you feel that? I just take off a layer. Let's do the other side. So now this should be a little bit easier because we've done it on one side. We'll feel like, yeah, I've got some idea of what's going on here. The other leg that goes around. Do it with confidence, like you're 6 years old. Oh yeah, like that. Okay, arms out to keep the balance. If you want to go near a wall, use the wall for support. The knee that's on top, take that arm up. The other hand crosses underneath. And if you're quick, you might be able to bend a little before you start to topple. Okay. Very, very badly demonstrated by me, but let me see how you're doing. And just like that, Teresa. Just kind of fun going into it. Whoa. Oh, nearly there. It's an eagle with a leg sticking out. Like so. Okay. So these tricky balance poses, A, they're good for equilibrium. B, there's all sorts of positive physical benefits to that pose, a long list of them. But in our particular context here, do you see how whatever we were thinking about or worrying about had to go? It had to go because we had to be here and present to do it. So the next trick is, in daily life, there you are, something's annoying you. You just think, okay, I'm just going to do it each side. I'm just going to do it each side. Maybe in the middle of Tesco's. In a meeting, you just go, excuse me, guys, I'm just going into my yoga pose. So I just feel a bit better. There we go. Yes? Try it. Just pretend that you're somewhere. At the bus stop. Whoa. I can do it so much better on my left side. Start a trend. So when you're getting confident at it, you've tried it, by the time you've done it 7 times, the body just knows exactly what it's doing. And it just kind of goes into it. Well, just did it. And it's not convinced. Okay? Let me see. Lovely. Lovely. Oh, Angela. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Well, also there's the adapted pose where you kind of just go over. And what Annie was doing was really clever. She was doing the cross arm.
Yeah, that's more stable.
Yeah, so it's still a balanced pose.
Yeah.
And at any point, remember, you can take the arms out to help balance.
Down you go.
I found that if I go into it and down very fast, so round, down, fast, I could do it. Whereas if I hung around up and then tried to crouch into the full eagle, it was harder. Anyway, we're having fun. So, standing back in the mountain, just check in with the mind. Does it feel any brighter? Does it feel any more open? Okay, yes, that's what we're aiming for. So, pausing for a moment. Letting the breathing quieten down. Take the dominant hand to the belly, clockwise circles on the belly. Poor belly, it's so little love and attention. And then the other hand on the heart, center of the chest. Relax the face. And then just pat the belly. And pausing, letting go, shoulders relax. Okay. And then releasing out. So on the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the video off now because we're going to do some different pair work. It's not fair to put my students onto YouTube. So I would recommend relaxing and going into Shavasana, corpse pose, at least 6 minutes for the work that we've just done.